recording. I share with you the PowerPoint. We continue the literary analysis. Are you with me, girls? Do you hear me well?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Teacher, which page?
It's on your grammar for writing book. Okay, but I didn't share the slide. Here, I will share with you the PowerPoint. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, literary analysis. Literary analysis, we discussed it previous time. We said in order to write a literary analysis, I have to know what are the elements of literature that should be analyzed in an essay. Okay? The plot, we mentioned the plot, how the author wrote the plot. Was it interesting? Was it boring? The point of view, with whether he used first person point of view or he used the third person point of view, and why an author would like to use first person point of view. Because, for example, we say that the author preferred to use the first person point of view in order to show the deep feelings of the narrator. Because in first person point of view, you only know everything about one character only. Okay? Setting, whether the setting affects the plot or was contradicting the plot. The characters, the protagonist, the antagonist, the catalyst, and how they improved at the end, or what's happened to the progress of the characters around the characters, static character, dynamic character, round character, or flat character. Then the imagery, and we discussed the imagery, of course, in previous time in a previous period in literature. We took all imageries again. So this unit you have to focus on imageries, girls. We said the visual, the auditory, the olfactory, the gustatory, the tactile, the kinesthetic, the organic. And symbolism, how one thing symbolizes more than this, what is beyond this object. Irony, which is we're divided into verbal irony, dramatic irony, situational irony. Foreshadowing, when the author gives me hints about what is going to happen, like he made foreshadowing in Hiroshima. Why? Because when he said, when he modified that people were anxious about, they couldn't sleep at night. Okay, now how to write a literary analysis essay. Read Asma.
Writing a literary analysis essay requires a writer to follow a proper process. The process includes planning as well as writing. If the planning of the essay is done correctly, the writing process gets easier and more effective. To write your literary analysis essay successfully, follow the steps provided below.
Yes, so in order, you have to make an outline. What is an outline? Which is introduction, the three bodies, the conclusion. Okay, so the first thing to analyze this piece of selection of literature, I have to read it thoroughly. I have to read it very well. I have to read it very well. Okay, thank you, Asma. Bilqis?
You're welcome.
Yes. Bilqis, read from the PowerPoint.
The first step in writing process literary analysis essay is truly read the chosen text. It is important to analyze and understand every little detail of original text to effectively draft your literary essay.
So you have to read it very well. As we read in the literature, we have to read each and every line. Okay, and analyze it. Analyze it. Continue.
Carefully read and understand the author's view and the message she is providing through writing a simple trick to analyze the text. Is to answer the question provided below.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Bilqis. Buthaina, read.
Yes, miss. We stopped at the questions, correct?
Yeah.
Which part of the content of are
Yes.
substantial?
Which parts of the contents are substantial? Okay. Second question.
Which literary devices were used by the author?
Yes, which literary devices? Symbolism, foreshadowing, irony.
Why the author choose those literary devices?
Yes, if it's a suspenseful story, he should use the foreshadowing. If it's a deep meaning story, he should use symbolism. If it's a funny or sarcastic, he should use irony.
How the characters developed in the content?
Yes, the characters, they are round or they're flat, they are static or they are dynamic.
Identify every detail, including the ideas, plot, characters, setting, and analyze them
attentively. So I have to bring a paper and write next to it the setting. And write what you think of the setting. The characters, and write what you think of the characters. The ideas, right? The plot, write what you think. In order to can write a literary analysis well, you have to cover all these points. Thank you, Buthaina. Dalia? Dalia?
Yes, miss.
Yes, read it then.
Now, once you have choose a topic, once you have understand the text, come up with a topic for your literary analysis essay. Make sure to choose an interesting essay title to grab the reader's interest in your work. Choosing a literary analysis essay topic can be a tricky business, but a good topic will ensure strong essay content.
Yes, thank you. So you have to, after you understand the text, you have to choose a topic to write about. Okay, Dareen?
Yes, miss. The next step is to form a thesis statement. A thesis statement is the writer's stance on the chosen piece of work. After reading the entire content thoroughly, the writer will be clear about his or her claim on the text. Forming a strong thesis statement is important as it shapes the entire essay.
So, form the thesis statement. So, as the reader reads, or while reading Hiroshima, okay, the author, or not, let's change it in another way. We say directly, the author, John Hersey, right? Right, or no, you forgot?
Yes.
Yeah, John Hersey, as he wrote his Hiroshima novel, he used what? What was the thing that, or the literary device that covered the whole story?
Imagery.
Imagery, yes. So John Hersey has succeeded in using imagery, or all kinds of imagery, to modify or to explain to the reader the tremendous explosion of the bomb. So this is the thesis statement. This is my point of view. This is what I believe, that John Hersey has succeeded into drawing the image of explosion of the bomb explosion through using imageries. Okay? And in the body, what would I do? I would support my opinion. So I would start mentioning lines from the literary work, lines from it. I would start to mention lines from it and say, yes, this, yes, this, yes, this. When he said here, the sky grew darker and darker. So in the body, this is in the body. I'm supporting my thesis statement. So I start between two quotations, the sky grew darker and darker. And here, the author used this sentence to show a visual I used the visual imagery to show how did the sky look.
So, Miss, it's like the homework of yesterday?
Yes,
Because yesterday,
but an
homework,
essay.
they taught us.
Yes, but an essay.
Yes, thank you, Miss.
Okay, then collect evidence. Thank you, Dareen. Durra, after you wrote your thesis statement, this is what I believe. This is it. After it, what do we write? We collect the evidence to support our claim. So we go to the piece of writing and selection of literature and read, where are the imageries here, there, here and there. So here the olfactory imagery, here the auditory imagery, and I arrange them and divide them. So read, please, Durra.
After forming a thesis statement, collect supporting information from the text to back up your stance. Collect strong evidence, facts, and expressions from work and present it in your essay. The evidence and data can be taken from other similar pieces of work to support the claim.
Yes. Strong evidence, facts, and expressions from work and presented in your essay. Form a literary analysis essay outline. The outline is introduction, the paragraphs, the body paragraphs, and then the conclusion. This is how we write an essay. Okay? Okay, thank you. Dora, Fatima, read it.
Structure in literature work is fundamental. One should devote enough time to creating the essay. Structure outline. Drafting an essay outline plays an important role in deciding the paper's success. Generally, a literary analysis essay outline contains the following elements: introduction, body paragraph, conclusion.
Yes, thank you, Fatima. The introduction. What do I write in introduction, Ghada?
This section introduces the topic to the reader by including interesting information to catch their attention. Writing a good essay introduction is essential in drafting a strong essay. Arrange your data.
At the beginning, I do what I should write and introduce the topic. So I have at the beginning, early beginning, I have to start with a hook. Hook is so maybe with a quote from the story, within between quotations. For example, if it's Hiroshima, between quotations, a man on his boat only heard the tremendous explosion, okay, of the bomb. And then I start to, this is how I grabbed his eyes. Then after I grab his attention, catch his attention. And then I start to mention what, yes, continue, arrange your data.
Arranging your data in this section so that a reader explicitly gets an idea about the original work and your stance over it. This is done by presenting a background information and the text, and the end, close your introductory paragraphs with a thesis statement that you developed earlier.
So after I grab the eyes of the reader, I caught his attention. I mention the work, the literary work. I have to mention its title and the author in the introduction. Okay? Between two quotation marks. A man on his boat, only a man on his boat heard the tremendous explosion of the bomb. This is how John Hersey, okay, modified the auditory imagery, but this is not the thesis statement. So let's not mention the imagery. I'm just introducing the topic. I don't want you to mix. So I say this is how John Hersey told the reader about the nuclear bomb in his novel Hiroshima. So I have to mention the title of the novel, and I have to mention the author in his novel Hiroshima, and a background about it, to tell the reader about what happened when United States has dropped the nuclear bomb on Hiroshima. This is the time for my thesis statement. John Hersey has succeeded in drawing the image of the bomb or of the explosion of the nuclear bomb in Hiroshima using the imageries to introduce the image to the reader or draw the image in the reader's mind. So grab, author's name, title's name, novel's title, my thesis statement.
Miss?
Okay? Yes.
Miss, the thesis you just said about the imagery. We will talk about the imagery in the 3 bodies this way.
Yes.
So I'm only talking about the imagery?
Yes, but because you choose to talk about imagery.
So I don't choose 3 topics in each body. I
No.
just choose one and okay.
Yes.
Miss, you're
Yeah.
writing it. Miss, how can I write 3 bodies, like all of them there about the same topic?
One
The
olfactory, one auditory, one visual, and if you want to write about more than one, you can write in the thesis statement that he used the imagery and symbolism, if there is a symbolism, and you mention in one body symbolism, and he used imagery if there is a symbolism. He used imagery, foreshadowing. He used foreshadowing, remember? So we can say John Hersey has succeeded in using the imagery and foreshadowing. Imagery to draw the image in the reader's mind, and foreshadowing to create a suspenseful mood. And in the body, I say.
Yes.
You got me now, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if in the thesis statement I said I will talk about the imagery and I will talk about the foreshadowing, I mentioned them in the bodies. So introduction, grab attention. After I grab attention, authors,
Title.
name. Okay. Novels or poems, title. Then thesis statement. This is it. This is it. Okay. But don't write them without conjunction. You have to combine them in an easy way. Okay? But these should be mentioned. Here, background. And this is a statement. You understand me, girls?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Then, thank you, Ghada. Jana?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
Okay.
Jana, read from the slide.
Okay. Body paragraphs. After writing an introduction, move to the body section.
Girls, 1 minute. I have to stop from 1 minute. Okay, girls, I'm sorry, I'm back. So we were here, Jana, please. The body paragraphs. Now I will write the body. So I wrote the introduction. At the end of the introduction, I wrote my thesis statement. Now it's time for the body. Yes, Jana?
After writing an introduction, move to the body section to present ideas, statements, and explanations to support your claim. In the body paragraphs, a literary analysis essay, a writer takes references from the text to support his argument. This can be done using the quoting as well as paraphrasing method, depending on the writer's choice.
Yes.
Writing the body of your essay includes a topic sentence, sub-arguments, and supporting evidence. All of the arguments in the body paragraphs should collectively back the main argument of the essay.
Yes, so in the body paragraphs of a literary analysis essay, I take things from the text to support my thesis statement. That's it. That's what you are asked to. So I go to bring examples of foreshadowing, and I write in the body, and I mention the lines. Here he mentioned foreshadowing. Here he mentioned that. Here he mentioned that. The conclusion, the last part of our essay, the last body of our essay. Thank you, Jana. Joanna? Okay, Jude?
Yes, miss.
Jude?
Yes.
Joanna, you replied?
Yes.
Finally. Where were you previous period? Joanna, I called you previous period, you didn't reply me, and I wrote you absent.
I didn't hear you.
Joanna, I called you many times. Okay, read Joanna.
Conclusion. It is the last and most important part of the essay. It presents the way your literary work reflects the plot line and ideas of the author. It is important to keep in mind the length when writing a conclusion of your essay. The conclusion sums up the discussion, making the audience clear about the chosen text and the reasons behind the writer's stance. When moving from your outline to writing, focus on all the features of the writing work you will analyze. This might be difficult for you so take the expert's assistance to make sure that the writer's process is effective. Seek help from an essay writing service. Following is an example provided by our experts to help you draft an outline effectively.
Okay, next time I will show you an example of an essay. So the conclusion, what do I write in the conclusion? Sum up what I've said before, to sum it up. Okay, start writing. Thank you, Joanna. Jude?
Miss.
What?
Teacher, in the body, do I just mention examples and like the lines?
Yes, examples, lines, and explain them.
So I can use like the first person pronouns, like I think, or
No, don't mention yourself. No,
so
why would you mention? You bring like the sky grew darker and darker, and this was an example of using a visual imagery to draw how the sky was dark at the time of after the explosion of the bomb, which was a huge dark cloud. This is a very easy example, but we should choose more sophisticated ones, like when we say, here he used visual. I mentioned two other visuals in one paragraph, so I mean this in sky grew darker and darker. What else was visual? Remind me of yesterday's period. When Mr. Tanimoto opened his eyes, he saw the house has collapsed, and this showed the tremendous explosion. This shows the soldiers were bleeding out of holes. This shows the bloody.
like what this will make us feel, or no?
No, don't mention yourself. This, ما هو you mentioned what did he do to you? What did the author do to you when he mentioned that the Mr. Tanimoto, when he used the visual imagery in describing how the soldiers came out of the holes bleeding, those who were supposed to serve the country. So this shows how what is the result of the nuclear weapon on countries,
yes.
the damages of the nuclear weapon.
تمام.
Okay.
Yes.
Then, okay, start writing, Jude.
Start writing. Once you have planned out the entire essay and have a concrete outline to follow, start writing it. A literary analysis essay is started by writing a hook statement that is a part of the introductory paragraph. This is a catchy opening statement that grabs the reader's attention and motivates them to read the essay.
Yes, we said it now, that you have to hook the reader, to grab the eyes of the reader, to catch his interest, to catch his attention.
Present the background and brief information about the plot, ideas and purpose of the original text. Following this comes a thesis statement that is presented at the end of the introduction section.
So I will say how does it work. Okay, I will mention how does it work. The author's name, the titles, the literary title or selection title, and a background about it, and then I end it with the thesis statement.
In the body paragraphs of a literary analysis essay, a writer takes references from the text to support his argument. This can be done using the quoting and paraphrasing method, depending on the writer's choice. Writing the body of your essay includes a topic, sentence, sub-arguments, and supporting evidence. All of the arguments in the body paragraph should collectively back the main idea of the essay.
So yes, because I will talk about the imageries there up in the thesis, I mentioned imageries. So in the body, I will mention the imageries. So first body will be for visual, second body will be for kinesthetic, third body will be for auditory. If I mentioned imageries and I mentioned foreshadowing, first one will be 2 kinds of imagery, second one will be 2 kinds of imagery, third one will be about foreshadowing. If I mentioned the setting and foreshadowing and imagery, so first body will be for imagery, second body will be for foreshadowing, third body will be for setting. And then I go to the conclusion. Continue.
For the conclusion of the literary analysis essay, restate the thesis statement and provide a summary of the main ideas to prove your point. It is important to keep in mind that the conclusion's length should not exceed the introduction's length.
Yes, the conclusion should not be longer than the introduction. They should be the same lines. And why conclusion? I am restating what I've just said in the introduction and supported in the 3 bodies. Okay? Are you with me? So now I wrote. After I write, what do I do? Thank you, Jude. Jumana.
Welcome.
Proofread and edit. After finishing the writing process, revise and proofread the essay to ensure that the work is free from errors. Check for mistakes and fix them right away before submitting your assignment. Ensure that the language, tones, syntax, vocabulary, punctuation, grammar, and structure complement the content.
Yes, so after I finish the writing process, I have to revise grammatically. I have to eliminate irrelevant details. I have to add extra information if I want to. Check the tones, check the syntax, check the vocabulary. Syntax is how I form the sentences together. The punctuation, the grammar, okay? Okay, here are some, this rubric, I will show you next time alone. Yani we will discuss this rubric alone. And here the literary analysis topics, you can analyze the main characters. You can analyze the main plot, as we said. Here are ideas to write about. Read it, Jumana. Jumana have just read. Read it, Qadra.
Choosing a strong topic is important to draft a good literary essay. Following are some topic examples that you can use for your literary essays. Analyze the main character of a book, analyze the main plot of novel, the significance and analysis of a particular piece of literature.
Yes, so whether you want to analyze the main character of a book, so all your paragraph, all your essay will be about only the characters, or only about the plot, or you want to choose particular pieces of literature. So it will be about this, or this part only, or I want to analyze section 2 only. It depends. This we will discuss next time, okay? We finished it. Okay, guys?
Teacher, do we have any homework to write?
For writing, no, not yet. But I want you to start preparing, preparing you, what do you want to analyze and this, and from next week, inshallah, we will start writing.
Yes.
After we show an example and we discuss the rubric.
Thank
you. Okay, thank you, Miss.
Yes.
You understand, girls, what we took today?
Yes.
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 Great. Okay. Okay, guys. Don't you want to ask any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, go, girls, for your break.
Thank you, Miss.
Please.
Thank you, Miss. Bye, Miss.